play of this match here last week. Tremendous display last week of Eastern Suburbs, superb attack and great defensive work. And yesterday, was it a letdown or?
Yes, I think it was a bit of a letdown. We wanted to win yesterday's game, as you know, because it does give you a little bit of confidence in the semi-finals coming up. I think one major difference in the game against Parramatta and yesterday's game was we had a little bit of ball. And I think we're getting a ball against any other team. I think we'll go ahead and win the competition.
Well, it was a problem yesterday, but it wasn't a problem in that game. What we're looking now on the screen with the Eastern Parramatta game was a good performance from Masterman the hooker. But yesterday, I think you were down 5-1 or 6-1 at one stage in the scrums yesterday, and that's causing you a few problems, and it will be a problem going into the finals.
Yes, I suppose it will, but I'm not taking anything against the West pack either, because they did have a rather big pack yesterday. I think they played with 3 front rowers.
And they played pretty well yesterday too, Roy.
Well, what's the story with Jeff Masterman? Has he lost confidence? He's been in the sin bin 4 times this year. He seems to get penalised a fair bit in the set scrums too. I think he was pinged 3 times yesterday for feet across. And he didn't come up with a scrum win yesterday, although he came up with a win against the smaller Parramatta pack the week before. Is this a real worry for the team?
It is a worry, yes, Rex, when we're not getting the ball consistently. I think Jeff's has had a few injuries in the past, and being his first year in Sydney, he's had a tremendous amount of football. As I think Bobby Fulton said on the show here a couple of weeks ago, he's played all the representative games. I think it does take the toll on the players, especially when they first come to Sydney in their first year.
Yes, because it's all happened for him this year. He's been up to the top and he's been dropped from first grade, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Noel, when you said that the West pack are big, and they took it right up to Eastern Suburbs yesterday. And there is a natural letdown after a game. Like the Parramatta East game got a tremendous build-up. It was at the cricket ground, big crowd, a successful win, and it's very hard to keep your razor edge right up there for the next game. And this has been shown all through the year that there is a letdown after a big one.
I agree with that, Ferdy. Not only that, with talking about yesterday's game with Eastern Suburbs, that was on right from that word go yesterday. Roy Masters is very thick with the players out there. They wanted to turn on a good game. Now, they've erased all their bad, in my mind anyway, and the public. The Western Suburbs supporters yesterday forgot all about the bad things they've done over the last couple of weeks, and they remember that good note that they finished on yesterday, which is a big thing. And while I'm at it, oh, there it is, Royce. Did you see that?
The dummy again.
That's the one who keeps playing it.
I know he put in an order for 100 gross videotape of that one incident.
But it was a great try too, a magnificent try, rugby league football.
Let me just come to again, I'm going to defend the hooker here. Look, this business about getting beaten for the ball and being sent to the sin bin, that can happen to any hooker at any given time, either side of the day. And how the hell the referees can pick one bloke out and pinch some of the scrums and then let the others go is beyond me.
Well, I mean, it might be beyond you, but the fact is it's happened to Masterman, the Australian hooker, 4 times this year.
Well, it's happening to a few others too, I can tell you. And in this instance,
nobody else has been sent off 4 times.
Oh, well, that was a while back, Rex, just to say.
Doesn't matter. He's the Australian hooker. Now, if I were the coach of the side or the captain, I'd be very concerned about it.
The position because he's the Australian hooker.
Because he should be above reproach if he's going to be the Australian, or at least above being caught.
Well, let's get back to reality. I'm going to say he won the ball convincingly against Parramatta on the cricket ground, and Western Suburbs are not in the forthcoming games in the future, so I don't see any reason to be pessimistic about East's chances of getting the ball in the future.
You wouldn't. You're a dyed-in-the-wool Rooster fan. This bomb that was put up caught Fay out definitely, you know, this was the second one that he couldn't get to, didn't actually touch it, but what a freakish leap there to get it two-handed in the end goal. I mean, I think he ought to buy a lottery ticket after that one. He could have been marvellous form. Now, this tackle by Warnocky head-on Mackenzie was as good a tackle as you'd see too. The young bloke, Warnocky, stood his ground, and I think that was a top tackle. Hastings finding touch. Now, this sequence of play epitomised what Eastern Suburbs did on the day. Boast had a beautiful bomb under all sorts of pressure. Look at that. That was a classic catch, as good as Brentnall's ever done. And now, it must be a great comfort when you've got Horry back there to do this. And the left footer for touch, torpedo punt, and it's 1 metre the other side of halfway.
Phenomenal game.
Now, that was an incredible performance. Gee whiz, I don't know.
Rex, you know, Royce, along with a good performance.
I agree, especially the semi-finals coming up. We all know there's not much difference between any of the top 5, and I think the team on the day that limits their mistakes and has a little bit of an ounce of luck. I think
Yeah.
his attack wasn't a lot better, yeah.
Well,
I think our defence was...
Here's a little bit of variety with Bob O'Reilly
man.
doing the little one-handed flick behind him there, which was a nice one. They sometimes come off. I've seen several tries scored off that this year.
Give you a little one-handed flick behind the ear too at once. Did he say anything to you, the man?
Oh, we have a little running conversation all the time because we are pretty good, mate.
Here's a top tackle from Kenny
Yes.
on McFarlane. That's as beautiful a diving tackle as you'd see.
Well, it must have been a good experience for you.
Being a super realist as you are you going to face the problem of a little bit of overconfidence with your boys? They've knocked off the main contender.
Well, Rex, our form over the last 2 weeks has been reasonable. I've been reasonably happy with it, considering our form in the second half against Cronulla we were back on the rails after that, I thought, and it was proven by our wins over the next two sides, who were North Sydney and St George, and culminating in a reasonable sort of a win here. I think we've got a fair bit of improvement in us too. But so have Parramatta on today's performance. They can play a lot better.